Hello, today we are going to understand what is the catch method and why it is used to annotate text by analyzing a short passage about the Civil War. So the catch method is an annotation tool that is used to go more in depth into complex text. It has 5 parts. C for circle, unfamiliar words, then define them. It is important to circle words you don't know and then define them in order to get a better understanding of the text. A, ask questions or acknowledge confusion. It is good to ask questions that you don't know as you read through the passage, and then at the end, after reading the entire passage, attempt to answer those questions based on the knowledge you got from reading the whole passage. T, talk to the text through comments, observations, and predictions. This should go hand in hand with highlighting. If it is important enough to highlight, then it is important for you to express your thinking as to why you highlighted that specific text. C, for capture the main idea. After reading the entire text, star the main idea. And H, highlight or underlined important information. A lot of students in the catch method tend to go a little bit more in depth with the highlight portion because they think everything's important. But in reality, less is more. Too much highlighting does not stand out and therefore does not help you. So highlight specific words, not entire sentences. Now that we know a little bit about the catch method, we're going to see it in practice by annotating specific text. The text we are going to be annotating is Differences between North and South 1850. I'm going to read through this passage and I'm going to use the catch method to understand what this passage is about. Okay. Disagreements over slavery heightened regional tensions and led to the breakup of the Union. I might not know what regional means, so since I do not know what regional means, I'm going to circle this unfamiliar word so that I could define it later. So I'm going to circle the word regional so that I know to go back to it later. The modern Democratic and Republican parties emerged from political tension of the mid-19th century. I didn't know that. So if the Republican and Democratic parties emerged in the 19th century, why did they, what parties existed before? So that's a question that I might want to ask. So what parties existed before the Democratic and Republican parties? Parties existed. The South, with its plantation economy, had come to rely on enslaved labor force. I believe this is an important part, which is why the South wanted to keep slavery in the United States. They profited. The North, with its diversification industries, was less dependent on slavery. As the North industrialized, Northern opposition to slavery grew more intense. So I believe this is very important. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight it so that I know that we're getting to the main root. The controversy over slavery only worsened as new territories and states were admitted to the Union. Supporters of the slavery saw an opportunity to create more slave states, while opponents remained equally determined that slavery should not spread. So I think, again, this is a main idea. Supporters of slavery, with the addition of new states as it grew, saw an opportunity for more slave states and therefore more revenue. So I believe that the main idea in this is going back to the first sentence. It's right off the bat. Disagreement over slavery heightened regional tensions and led to the breakup of the Union. So because there was two sides to the issue, the Union started to break. So I think this is very important, which is why I am going to star it, so that I know that this is the main idea of the text. And there we have it, using the catch method to annotate a text.